To the team news we go, and we start with the Spanish, who were victorious in Belarus on Friday. And just one change for Vicente Del Bosque from that side. It's the return of Andres Iniesta.
Yeah, of course, very important in midfield. A shame for Santi Cazorla, who's been playing so well for Spain. Of course, his club team as well in England. But other than that, the main story is at the back here. No Puyol, no Gerard Piqué that are still injured. Of course, Cesc Fabregas, number 10, the false number 9, or number 10 in this case, is preferred to the likes of Torres and Soldado on the bench.
Felix Birch leading the all-German officiating crew here. So Vicente Del Bosque continuing with the strikerless formation that first developed at Euro 2012. For France, though, there's a more attacking look about the team than the one that lost so limply in Donetsk 4 months ago.
Yeah, let's just see if they can get enough of the ball. I think the midfield is the key position for me. There's so many players in there, the French, that are injured. Rio Menvilla, Abu Diaby's injured, and Yann Villa as well. So Gonalons, Matuidi, Cabaye be the midfield three. But there's the threat, the counter-attacking threat of Jeremy Menez, Karim Benzema and Franck Ribéry.
Really warm embrace as well between Vicente Del Bosque and Didier Deschamps. Two men who know all about winning major titles. Del Bosque, of course, has done it as a coach. Deschamps, more known for winning titles as a player so far, but trying to guide France in the right direction. He's introduced a more pragmatic and physical approach to the French since he took over from Laurent Blanc. Blanc dismissed after that exit the hands of Spain last June. There is Didier Deschamps, man who earned his stripes as a player with Marseille and Juventus, Chelsea, and actually finished up in Spain with Valencia. And away we go at the home of Atletico Madrid. This is the other stadium, the other big stadium at least, in the city of Madrid, the home of Atletico. And the Spanish national team's fairly infrequent visitors over the years here to the stadium on the banks of the Manzanares River. La Roja, the red against Les Bleus, the Blues of France, although they're wearing white, of course, tonight. And France going from left to right. Both teams perfect in qualification so far, 2 wins out of 2. The French weren't in qualifying action this past Friday, and in fact, Robbie went down to a very disappointing defeat at home to Japan in Paris.
Yeah, not the best preparation, is it, going into a big game like this? But this is the main event of this particular match day for them. Their best team that they can put out is out there right now, and this is going to be the pattern of the match. Spain possessing the ball all the time, trying to get in behind. The French will try and win the ball, but like that, and then get it forward to those front 3 players, the highest of which is going for the ball right now in Karim Benzema, who can give a threat, I think, to those back 4 of Spain, particularly the centre-halves in Sergio Busquets and Sergio Ramos. Busquets obviously more of a midfield player than a central defender.
You might remember, those of you who watched Euro 2012 with us, that Spain's victory in that quarter-final was actually their first in a competitive game against France. Is Fabregas trying to reprise his role from that tournament as that false number 9, so to speak. David Silva, he was in such splendid form throughout that tournament, wasn't he, with 2 goals and 3 assists. And now Iniesta working his way back to fitness too. Can't keep his footing this time. Iniesta, we saw against Belarus, come off the bench to replace Santi Cazorla, who can find himself a little unlucky to miss out tonight, Robbie.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in great form for Arsenal, and it was a brilliant performance against Belarus that he was a part of. But what a good start Spain did make against Belarus, and as you see right now, the tempo is high from them. They're trying to get an early breakthrough against France.
Already probing away on this left-hand side with Jordi Alba. Again, back to that game in Donetsk. France actually played 2 right-backs in that game, didn't they, with Reveillère and Debuchy. It was a lineup that raised everyone's eyebrows.
Yeah, and then, of course, the ironic thing was that the goal from Spain came down their side with the ball getting in behind and Xabi Alonso scoring a header. So it didn't work that particular night, but Deschamps a different manager, different ideas. The midfield 3's picked Matuidi, Cabaye and Gonalons. They can work hard. They're defensive style midfield players. So that's where the key battle, of course, is going to be against Spain. They will possess the ball for the most part under little pressure in midfield, but of course, as soon as they get in the final attacking third, that's when France need to tighten up.
Now France, in a way, trying to start all over again, because elimination led to recrimination. Some old demons resurfaced, didn't they, for the French? No Samir Nasri in this squad, and that still is a hangover from the eruption at the end of the Euros. Hatem Ben Arfa, another casualty of that dispute.
Yeah, and that's something that Didier Deschamps has got to try and rebuild. He's got to regroup the team. He's got to try and get the French public to believe in the side and be interested in the team yet again, because they've disgraced the nation with their recent antics.
David Silva not going to catch up to that. Jordi Alba, who opened the scoring for Spain in that victory against Belarus. A forward-thinking left-back. He used to be a left midfielder, didn't he, Jordi Alba, in his time with Valencia?
Yeah, and absolutely, he's done a great job of getting in the Spanish national team. Of course, he's moved to Barcelona now, and it's ideal for them as well. He's playing very well, offers a threat in behind as well, believe it or not, as a full-back. He's got that sort of pace. You're going to see him go up and down this left side. Here he is now. He's going to get plenty of the ball, but he'll continue with it. He'll look to play and get forward as well.
Xavi able to settle on the ball for the first time. And switch to Arbeloa. Surprise, surprise, nearly all Spain in the early exchanges, but France, the first chance to spread their wings. And Karim Benzema has been the man under the microscope for the French. His lack of goals in particular have been a source of major concern, almost national angst, Robbie. No goals in his last 8 games for France.
Yeah, I think even before that, I think he just hasn't been scoring many goals. It's certainly an issue. You think about this French team, they've got some talent. You know, Frank Ribéry on one side, Jeremy Menez was a creative player, so it's a bit of a strange one. But I do believe that France will get chances in this game. I know they're away from home, I know against the World Cup and European champions, but they do give you the odd look at goal, Spain, because they're so intent on going forward.
There's Matuidi across to Patrice Evra. Back in at left back tonight. Evra sat out against Japan. Gael Clichy took his spot. No problems posed at all for Spain there. That's Maxime Gonalon winning just his 5th cap. Relatively inexperienced French midfield, isn't it, with Matuidi, Cabaye and Gonalon?
Yeah, I mean, that's where they've had the injury issues, and I'm sure Yann M'Vila would have been a player that would have played. Rio Mavuba as well, and of course Abou Diaby, the Arsenal midfield player, has had a great start domestically. They're all injured, out for this game, so that's where the issues are. But I actually quite like the look of the French midfield because it's got legs, it's got energy, a little bit of aggression as well. That's what you need against the likes of Iniesta, Alonso and Xavi.
Xabi Alonso with the quick restart there. He scored both goals in Donetsk. You might remember one from the penalty spot very late on in that game. On the ball again, actually scored both goals as well last time Spain played here at the Vicente Calderón. That was against Argentina 3 years ago. Iniesta. Let the ball slip away. Jeremy Menez pouncing on it and Debuchy taking over. The French had numbers forward there, counter-attacking at pace. Busquets had an awkward bounce to deal with, and eventually mopped up by Arbeloa. Ribéry, a little scoop. Of ingenuity there from the Bayern Munich man. Benzema, though, is going to be pulled for the foul by Felix Birch. To a lot of French commentators, Robbie, they call Benzema the most talented player in their squad, but also the most indifferent. It's not a great combination, is it?
No, it's not. And you know, of course, we've seen him play so many times at Real Madrid, and you often see a brilliant centre forward, strong, very good finisher. Technique is good, but then you see him playing games where he drifts out of it. You know, what is and who is the real Karim Benzema? And that's what's frustrating, I think, for his national team manager and the fans of France, because they don't get to see the best of Benzema enough.
Will the real Karim Benzema please stand up? Seems to be the message. Only 15 goals in over 50 appearances for his country. Focus at the other end for now, cleared by Cabaye. Spain really just swept a victory in magnificent fashion against Belarus, which had the makings of a potentially awkward trip. Never in any doubt, was it? They got the early breakthrough from Jordi Alba, and a hat-trick from Pedro. This anticipation from Xabi Alonso. Iniesta turning the corner, David Silva. There's going to be a stoppage here. Player in a little bit of trouble is David Silva.
Yeah, this doesn't look good. He's noticed him indicating to the bench, and he's just posturing as if he's got to come off. There's something wrong. He's pulled something. Hamstring possibly. He's just trying to stretch it out there to see if it's maybe just a twinge or whether he has actually torn the muscle. Very worrying for, of course, Vicente Del Bosque here, the Spanish coach, and of course Roberto Mancini as well, Man City boss of David Silva.
Well, the player the Manchester City fans delight in calling Merlin. I'm sure they will be hoping the Spanish medical team can work some magic of their own. He has specialised at European Championships so far, David Silva, in terms of his national team career. His breakthrough in Austria and Switzerland in 2008. A standout performance this past summer, but the World Cup in South Africa a little bit disappointing for Silva. He's on his way down the tunnel.
Yeah, that's not good news. And we saw Santi Cazorla warming up as well. I guess that's the ideal replacement. Not a bad replacement as well, I have to say.
Cazorla, who's just been in simply sparkling form for Arsenal. As he's saying, not a bad option to have up his sleeve for Vicente Del Bosque, and he's got a few of those.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible amount of midfield talent right now in Spain. Juan Mata, who's doing so well for Chelsea, hasn't even got in this squad. That's how good the midfield players are at Spain. Cesc Fabregas, other midfield man that's in the team as a striker right now. Again, can play in midfield as well. So a little bit of a shift around. Andres Iniesta, I think, will go into midfield and Cazorla play on the wide, or of course they could interchange that as well. That's very much part of the way that Spain play. They have a back four and a midfield protector, I guess, in Xabi Alonso. The rest of the guys go where they want.
Menez going in the right direction, but unfortunately for him, without the ball. Well, the statistics show that Spain have actually scored more goals without a recognised striker in the last year than they have with one.
There you go, that's interesting, isn't it? A lot of people, pundits in the game, can't understand why Spain don't play with a striker, and they've got some good ones to select from, but it's just the unique style that they play. They almost take it in turns to be the player to run in behind or to be in the central area. Of course, Cesc Fabregas will be the guy for the most part, but don't be surprised if Iniesta, Pedro in particular, maybe Santi Cazorla, when he comes on, will make that run as well.
It's Alba making the run here, Jordi Alba. A little off kilter. The return pass was Cesc Fabregas. You can see Santi Cazorla, wearing 20, preparing himself for duty. There is the Arsenal man. It will be his 50th cap that he wins when he comes on. And the next stoppage. Well, this is promising for France. Evra had wriggled free and inside too. Patrice Evra making inroads into the box. Ben was deemed to have left a foot in. And that will end what was briefly, at least, some promising moments for France.
Well, there was some good work from Patrice Evra, the left back there, just a little bit high, wasn't he, on that challenge there? The referee was all over that, saw that coming.
So Santi Cazorla now on in place of the ailing David Silva. And as always, when Spain makes changes in midfield, it's not exactly much of a drop-off in quality.
Yeah, Santi Cazorla. brilliant footballer, there's no question about it. The same mould of all the other midfield players, small, super technical, great vision, and above all, superior football intelligence. That's what the Spanish players have, the ability to make the right decision at the right time, when to pass forward, when to dribble, when to go back, when to shoot, when to cross.
Cazorla down the line for Iniesta, who turns on the jets. Iniesta, not the best clearance, only as far as Xavi. Won't quite break Spain's way. They press on regardless. Jordi Alba. France at full stretch and happy to concede the corner. Laurent Koscielny up against his club teammate now in Santi Cazorla. Two Arsenal men. Xavi's far post delivery. Flicked away by Matuidi. Spain 0, France 0. Just inside the first quarter of an hour here at the Vicente Calderón in Madrid. Santi Cazorla. Allowed space inside the penalty area, but the shot posed no threat to Hugo Lloris, the new Spurs goalkeeper. Of course, he's been battling it out, hasn't he, with Brad Friedel. And Lloris has played the last couple of games for Andre Villas-Boas. 2 clean sheets as well against Lazio and Aston Villa. Yeah, that's what I guess he'll want. Get in the side, have a couple of good games, then he'll probably stay in. Brad Friedel's been a tremendous goalkeeper and a servant to Spurs, but I guess when you spend a lot of money on a new goalkeeper, at some point he's going to get in the team and stay in. Well, a lot of people scratching their heads at that move, weren't they, by Spurs to pick up Hugo Lloris, but they've been after him a long time. They actually tried to get him all the way back in 2008. Originally wanted him to replace Paul Robinson. 2 goalkeepers with the nickname Saint facing each other tonight. Saint Lloris and Saint Iker Casillas, who's barely been involved so far, as you might expect for Spain. Debuchy has been. He upends Santi Cazorla. Santi Cazorla again. Jordi Alba has really grabbed hold of that left back spot now, hasn't he? And made it his own. His return to the Barcelona fold at club level.
Just looking at France, the way they've lined up, it pretty much is a 4-1-4-1. You've got Maxime Gonalons, who's playing very close to those 2 central defenders, just offering that protection, an area of the pitch that so many players from Spain want to try and get into. And then got Matuidi and Cabaye, Menez and Ribery almost forming a normal midfield 4. And of course, Karim Benzema up front, so it's got to remain compact, just trying to close off all the little avenues, the seams. And space here wide though for Spain.
Plugging away on this near-hand side almost continually, the Spanish. And there's shades of that quarter-final meeting in Donetsk. Jordi Alba. Santi Cazorla. And across to meet him at speed was Gonalons. He snuffed out the danger.
It might be that France think, well, okay, you're not going to come through the middle, but we will give you the space on the flanks. We can't mark everywhere, and we'd be happy enough to see the ball go wide, particularly to Arbeloa on the right-hand side, but also at times to Jordi Alba.
Available substitutes for the French, just scrolling across the top of your screen. Olivier Giroud is available. Lloris out to Evra. France 3-1 victors against Belarus at home, and a narrow and nervy 1-0 win at Finland. And their 2 victories in this group so far. Spain had their problems as well. Their first game, Robbie, a late winner against Georgia away from home from Roberto Soldado. No such problems against Belarus last Friday. We saw that one.
Yeah, we did, and I think it was pretty apparent that there was certainly a little bit of backlash from that game. They've got a bit of criticism why it took them so long to beat lowly Georgia, and they were on fire against Belarus.
Impeccable passing and deadly finishing. And the Spanish, ironically, no one in Spain actually saw that game. It was blacked out on Spanish television. First time a national game hasn't been shown since 1981, apparently. A dispute involving rights fees.
Spain might have to show real patience in this game. It's not something that they're not used to. They're just slow from the tempo of the first kind of 10-15 minutes, and going to have to get used to the idea of breaking down a very disciplined and well-organised back line. Just looking across there, and Santi Cazorla is just a yard offside there. It's quite a high line from France.
Vicente Del Bosque took over from Luis Aragonés after Euros in 2008. Bringing you some latest scores as well from other European qualifying games. So Italy lead Denmark by 1-0. Here's Cesc Fabregas. Nice idea. The pass eluding Blaise Matuidi, the Paris Saint-Germain man.
Well, it's the right idea because, as we see, Didier Deschamps there, the midfield player at times is going to have to try and make a forward run to get up in support of Karim Benzema. They can defend like this for long periods, but at some point they have to offer a threat on a counter-attack. Somebody running forward, somebody gambling.
Jeremy Menez. Very easy decision, he made that for Felix Birch. Bowling over his man. We've reached the 20-minute mark. Spain never lack for patience, do they? On Koscielny. A rambunctious run from the Arsenal defender. Took a couple down with him.
Sergio Ramos is going to come into a shot here. There he is. Look at that for a challenge. Sliding, wins the ball cleanly. Great tackle.
The ball inside by Cabaye. There's a player that Vicente Del Bosque mentioned a lot in the build-up to this game, Yohan Cabaye, calling him the French Xavi. Which is high praise indeed.
It is high praise, and he's a very good player, Cabaye, but you know, he comes here knowing that it's going to be a very different sort of game. He wants to be on the ball and creating things like Xavi does for Spain, but of course it's going to be mostly defensive, covering holes, working very hard. And try and frustrate Spain. Another shot of that tackle there, sliding challenge from Sergio Ramos.
Ramos who's homing in on the century mark, 100 caps for his country, needs another 3. And Italy have made it 2. Daniele De Rossi giving them the extra cushion against Denmark.
Good shot right now. You can see how many players are in the middle of the pitch there. Both fullbacks of Spain are going to be in space. Arbeloa, and here we are with Jordi Alba.
Santi Cazorla. A thundering challenge from Koscielny. It was a fair one, albeit at the expense of the corner.
Felix Birch, the referee there, you see he's got a good view of that. He's only 10 yards away, and slide tackle is very much part of the game.
Now Iniesta, well, he wriggled his way free with such ingenuity, and then there's a collector's item for you, completely whiffed.
I think there was a smile on his face as well. European Player of the Year. Here we go. Have some of that.
Actually quite reassuring for the rest of us, Robbie.
Absolutely.
Even Iniesta's human.
Yeah.
Menez. Every now and then they've threatened to launch bids down the left-hand side, have Didier Deschamps' team. Looking to get ever forward in support of Ribéry. Didier Deschamps yesterday calling Spain a role model for us all. What they do is simply incredible. There seem to be different messages for the French in terms of their prospects in this game. The French journalists and the media coming out with phrases like zero optimism, but Karim Benzema suggesting they could spring a surprise here. It's Jordi Alba. He's trying to spring his way through the French defence.
He's got so much pace. That's what makes him very difficult to mark there. Just gets away with it a little bit. Mathieu Debuche has got to be a bit careful there with the shoulder-to-shoulder challenge. Does well to recover there and make the sliding tackle again.
Koscielny against his former teammate Fabregas. Had a year together in North London. Proved to be Fabregas's last year with Arsenal. Xavi sent in the corner. Oh, Sergio Ramos off the post. It's still up for grabs, and second time does the trick. Well, he still had his head in his hands, having missed the first opportunity. No such mistake with the second, and Spain have their breakthrough.
Now Didier Deschamps got to be so disappointed, conceding to Spain at a set piece at a corner kick. Look at that, the reaction from Sergio Ramos. It does him a favour because he stands still in reaction. That pulls defenders away from him. Take a look at this. Stands still, nobody bothers to mark him. It comes right back to his right foot, right in front of goal, and almost misses that, puts it into the roof of the goal, and then the celebrations, the spectacular celebrations come from Sergio Ramos.
We'll give him a 9.8 for the celebration. It's his 7th international goal. And as you said, Robbie, one that will provoke a lot of unrest in the heart of the French defence. A, to leave him open for that length of time on the initial header, and then B, not to mark him on the follow-up.
You can look through the Spain lineup, I'm sure Didier Deschamps done it many times. There's two players that can head the ball, Sergio Busquets and Sergio Ramos. Two players to mark at a set piece, and yet Sergio Ramos seems to have like 2 yards around him to make that first header.
I was mentioning the French words yesterday. Karim Benzema said, "We will play like warriors here tonight." Well, we're going to need to play like warriors. Haven't really seen much evidence of it so far. There's Pedro. He's had a quiet first period of the game, but bursts into life there. The man who scored a hat-trick against Belarus on Friday.
Yeah, and there's just a little bit of determination to get a shot at goal. You're right, he's seen very little of the ball, Pedro, but that time, even though there was a great run again from Jordi Alba, he's done it 2 or 3 times now, where he's almost killed himself to get down the outside and hasn't seen the ball at the end of the run.
Now, that hat-trick by Pedro, incidentally, against Belarus was the first of his professional career. No bad stage on which to get one, a World Cup qualifier.
Yeah, and he's just switched sides now with Santi Cazorla for the time being, just trying to get involved in the match, get a little bit of possession of the ball.
If you're just joining us on this significant day of World Cup qualifying action, again, no Fernando Torres, no David Villa. Spain going without a recognised striker once more, and it's a central defender who's got them in front, Sergio Ramos. The breakthrough just a couple of minutes ago.
What France have done a bad job of is keeping possession when they win the ball back. There's been a few situations, you mentioned it with Patrice Evra on the left, certainly Debuchy made a run on the right hand side. They are willing to get forward, but if you give the ball away every time you get it back, then you're never going to build any attacks.
Menez. Debuchy swinging in the cross, Benzema. And we get free of his club teammate Arbeloa. He took Busquets with him. Spain really hunt as a pack, don't they, to get the ball back when they don't have it.
The France just need to put 4, 5, 6, 7 passes together right here. Give them a break. Get Spain moving about a little bit without the ball. Work them.
Gone along. Debuchy rose to meet it, but could do nothing with it. Mathieu Debuchy, as Germany had a third against Sweden. Yeah, Mertesacker getting in on the act.
3 goals for Germany in a game that was always seen as being a tricky one against Zlatan Ibrahimovic in Sweden. No problem for the Germans.
It's starting to look a little better for the Irish, isn't it, after their 6-1 mauling on Friday. Perhaps Germany really are that good. Debuchy. There's an important leg he stuck out there. France for a while seemed to be on the right track under Laurent Blanc, certainly leading into Euro 2012. A lot of people thought perhaps they were even dark horses when it came to the tournament. They were on a long unbeaten run under Blanc, stretched actually to 23 games. But it all ended so tamely for them, didn't it? They lost, first of all, to Sweden in their final group game. And that's where the rot really set in.
Yeah, and just we were amazed at how poor they were against Spain, with no kind of attempt to get forward. Very, very defensive.
On the back foot again here as Iniesta releases Pedro. It's going to be yet another corner. I wonder if they'll bother to mark Sergio Ramos this time.
Well, Mamadou Sakho, Paris Saint-Germain central defender. Laurent Koscielny, not a big player, Koscielny, in terms of marking. You can see him in the middle of the picture there. He's picking up Cesc Fabregas. There's Busquets, and there's the match-up there, isn't it? And Sakho.
Spain work it short instead. Much better angle now for Xavi to work with. Fabregas couldn't turn the corner. Nothing is going France's way. It was Benzema and Arbeloa. Real Madrid clash in the centre of the pitch. Benzema adjudged to have fouled his teammate. So if he really did anything wrong there, Robbie?
I don't think so. There's a little bit of contact, but what do you expect when the ball's in between 2 players in the air? You're going to go for it. It seems to me that France, you know, they're so concentrated about their positions, and when you look at them, they look well organised, and for the most part, they haven't had a problem against Spain in this first 32 minutes now. But I sometimes think that teams forget to play. When they get the ball, they forget to express themselves and keep hold of it. They're just so focused on stopping Spain all the time.
Well, there is a mesmeric quality, isn't there, about watching Spain, but not supposed to apply if you're actually trying to play against them. Now the United States against Guatemala, the second part of our big double-header today on ESPN2. Coverage will start at 6:30 p.m. for our audience in the United States on ESPN2. That game being played at Livestrong Sporting Park in Kansas City. Ian Darke and Taylor Twellman will be with you. Full crew on site too. I hope you're enjoying the early stages of this one with us. Adrian Healy and Robbie Mustoe watching Spain and France meeting for the second time in less than 4 months. This is a different competition, and This is Karim Benzema on his way. Benzema's shot was goal bound until Casillas intervened. Real Madrid keeper stopping Real Madrid striker.
Now there he's in the inside left position, Karim Benzema. That is a good effort, a really strong effort on his weaker side, his left foot. Casillas, looked like he was struggling there to keep that one out. It's going to give him and France encouragement.
And they could certainly do with some. In the first corner of the game, which Jeremy Menez takes. No pressure on the ball though, a free header out for Fabregas. According to Didier Deschamps, they barely deserved to lose that home friendly to Japan, and they did outshoot the Japanese by a 21-3 margin, but lost to a late goal from Shinji Kagawa, Manchester United man.
Just got to forget about that now and just try and find a way of getting back into this game. They're behind now, they've got to develop their game going forward.
Well, Denmark have got a goal back against Italy, who lead 2-1 at half-time. Goal from William Kvist, you might remember him from European Championships this past summer.
Got to find a way of getting Frank Ribéry into the game, Adrian. I think he's the best player for France, but hasn't seen anything of the ball on that left-hand side.
It's Debuchy, who saw the ball on the right-hand side and is feeling the pain. Got a knee in the small of the back there, Mathieu Debuchy. He won his first cap less than a year ago. The Lille defender, who was very much thought to be in the shop window this past summer. People thought he might get a big offer from a much bigger European team. It actually didn't transpire. Still with Lille in his 8th year now.
I think he's going to be okay, Adrian. Just got a little jar, didn't he, towards his lower back area there. Be amazed if he has to come out of the game because of that. And of course, Spain knocked the ball out, so they will receive it back again from France.
Minutes to go in the first half here at the Vicente Calderón, home of Atletico Madrid, and of course that meant Fernando Torres had a huge incentive to play a part here tonight. He hasn't actually played in this stadium since he left Atletico. Tweedy falling foul of the law here. Santi Cazorla, a combination with Arbeloa, who so wind his way into the penalty area. Santi Cazorla winding up for the shot. Pedro turning on the Jets. Pedro and the layoff for Iniesta. And generally saves his goals for the big occasion, doesn't he, Andres Iniesta?
I just wonder if Pedro could have pulled the trigger just before this layback to Iniesta. It's a harder shot, is it, from there? Pedro's got a great header steam going at the last defender there. A little step over maybe on that last player to try and get a shot at goal. That's where France are going to be better for me. Shows you can play a little bit, shows you've got good players in there that play at top European clubs. I haven't seen it so far.
And you mentioned Ribéry, here's a chance for him on the ball, but it doesn't last long. Benzema trying to make things happen and does. The Spanish don't like the decision here, free kick conceded. It was Benzema who was upended.
Xabi Alonso here just reaching in. It's a foul. Doesn't get enough of the ball there. Certainly he's reaching around the outside of the striker. This is a chance for France now. I'm going to argue got a little tiny piece of the ball to start with, but not enough. You've got to have good delivery here and work this man, Iker Casillas.
What does Didier Deschamps and his French side have up their sleeves? It's curled in beautifully. In fact, a bang across the face of goal and in. But is it going to be given offside? It is. Jeremy Menez, who was literally on the goal line. Well, it was a delicious ball across, wasn't it, Robbie, initially? But we'll come back to it because Spain have gone right down the other end and are threatening themselves. Pedro. He's won a free kick. Well, the free kick from Cabaye was a real treat for France. I think it was Benzema beyond the far post, Robbie, who nodded it back across. I'm not going to be able to look at it just yet.
Just yet, no. This is Frank Ribéry, just a little bit too aggressive there on Pedro at the other end, but you're absolutely right. Look at that for ball. Brilliant ball in. That's fantastic. Is he behind him there? My goodness, that's close, isn't he? That is close. Didier Deschamps not sure about it as well, and I'm not sure. And that ball is nodded back. If he's behind the ball, he was not in an offside position.
Well, certainly in front of the last defender, wasn't he? But, as you said, where was he in relation to the ball? It all happens at such lightning quick speed. France didn't get the benefit of the decision. In comes Xabi's free kick. But again, perhaps just a glimmer of optimism there for the French, Robbie.
I mean, it was a set piece, Adrian, and that's what they might have to live off. I mean, they had a decent bit of football. They get the set piece around 20 yards out there, 20-25 yards out, and a good ball into the centre. But I'm sure Didier Deschamps was still wanting to play better in general play and create their own chances.
Just a little glimpse of that warrior spirit that Karim Benzema talked about yesterday coming to the surface. We're going to need a lot more of that, though. Always plenty to worry about at the other end too, with Pedro and Santi Cazorla. Pedro's inch-perfect ball finds Arbeloa. Little touch on for Pedro. Oh, it was a really ugly challenge, careless. And Koscielny has conceded the penalty in reckless manner. A booking too for the Arsenal man, and just when things were looking a little brighter for France, it's turned sour again. What was Laurent Koscielny thinking?
Well, he should know better. Absolutely disappointed his teammates there. Looked like they're almost back in the game, come steaming across here. I mean, that's one of the worst challenges you're going to see from a central defender, an experienced central defender as well. Pedro's quick, he's lightning fast, he's got quick feet. Look at that. It's almost like he's not even got a ball. Laurent Koscielny there, nowhere near it. Hacks the shins of Pedro inside the penalty box. Crazy.
Well, Pedro won a penalty against France, didn't he, in that Euro quarter-final in Donetsk. Xabi Alonso took it and scored. Now it's Cesc Fabregas trying to do the same. It's saved, though, by Lloris. The Spurs man coming to the rescue of the Arsenal man, and France are still in this.
Well, they are. Lloris guesses the right way. Cesc Fabregas is frustrating. He's had a difficult first half. We haven't seen him in the game, really, have we? Cesc Fabregas up front. He's been closely marked. And what a chance there to make his mark in the game. He misses the penalty.
Interesting that Fabregas is the man to step up and take this. And it was a savable height all along, wasn't it, for Lloris?
It really was. Good height for him. He just has to guess the right way. There's a couple of little delays in the run-up, wasn't there, from Cesc Fabregas? And I always think when the goalkeeper doesn't move on those little fakes, if you like, then the taker's in a bit of trouble. He isn't quite sure which side to put it at, and of course he goes with his natural side there, and the right footer, that would be to the keeper's right.
Well, the outrageous swings of fortune in the game. Laurent Koscielny We're sending a little thank you note there to Hugo Lloris. Couple of minutes to go in the first half that has certainly far exceeded what we saw in Donetsk less than 4 months ago. Spain looking to increase their recent dominance over France. They've won 4 of the last 5 meetings.
I've got to say, in general, defensively, France have looked quite strong, well organised, very compact. It's not as though Spain have been ripping them apart with their football that they normally do against their opponents.
Benzema may have a chance to nick this through for Ribéry. It may still come Frank Ribéry's way because Evra has latched onto it and Ribéry has it. And given away in a rather careless manner by Frank Ribéry. Now all of a sudden it's a long way back for the retreating French troops. And Spain look to pounce with Pedro. Xavi, Pedro, brilliant! First shot save, Fabregas with the follow-up. And Hugo Lloris is earning his nickname Saint Lloris at the moment.
Well, there was a great ball through, and this is it. Xavi there with a fantastic little clip with the outside of his right foot right into the possession of Pedro in front of goal, and Hugo Lloris, brilliant goalkeeping, very quick here, which is key. Getting up, sets himself again, he knows where he is, he knows where the posts are, and makes the second save.
Sergio Ramos penalised on the resulting corner. Really absorbing first half here, Lloris. As we saw him do a couple of times with Spurs. Rather suspect clearance, he got away with it again though. Iniesta. Well, both sides, Robbie, will go in at half-time feeling perhaps they should have had a little more from the first half. France with a goal ruled out for a questionable offside call. There's nothing questionable about that decision. Gone along in fiercely.
He'll be lucky if he doesn't get a yellow card for that challenge very late there. Gone along as a defensive midfield player. In fact, he does get a yellow card for that.
Indeed, could easily have been more. 2-1 wouldn't have been an unrealistic scoreline at this stage, but just the one goal, Sergio Ramos.